All right, everybody. NFL Week 13. Got to do this live. I'm staying at the in-laws right now. I'm in between places. We'll start off Cincinnati on the road in Miami. Dolphins 10.5-point home favorites. The over is 3-0-1 in Cincy's last four games versus the AFC. The Bengals are 7-1 against spread following a straight-up loss. Both teams allow 4.8 yards per carry, ranking them 28 in the standings. Miami is dead last in yards per carry on offense, averaging 3.6 yards per carry. Dolphins have the number one ranked third down D, while the Bengals offense ranks 29th on third down conversions. The home team is 4-0 against spread in this head-to-head matchup. The total's gone under in 4 of the last 6 meetings. The under 6-1 when Miami is favored. Dolphins are 6-1 against spread their last 7 games and 6-1 against spread the last 7 games at home. I like Miami to win this one. 10.5, that's a big number. I'm a little hesitant to take it, but I will take it. Cincinnati's in all sorts of trouble right now with the quarterback situation and whatnot, etc. Next up, Cleveland at Tennessee. Tennessee, 5.5-point home favorites. The Browns, they're 0-5 against spread versus the AFC. 1-10 against spread their last 11 road games. The underdog is 4-1-1 against spread the last 6 meetings. Cleveland, 3-1-1 against spread in Tennessee and 3-1-1 against spread in their last 5 matchups. The last 4 meetings in Tennessee have gone over the number. The over is hit in 6 of the last 7 meetings. The over is 7-0-1 in Tennessee. Between these two teams, the last 8 games versus AFC, Titans beat Baltimore and Indy their last 2 games. Derrick Henry, wow, man, 15 rushing yards, 100 last week. He had 3 TDs by the half. Oh, phenomenal output by the Titans. This game should be a ground and pound game. Don't forget, you got Hunt and Chubb on the other side of the ball, too. This should just be smash mouth football. 5.5 points. That's real hard to pick when 2 running teams. I think Tennessee is the better team here. I'll take the Titans to win and cover the spread. Detroit in Chicago to face the Bears. Lions, Bears, 2 teams struggling within a game of each other. Division rivalry. Lions are 0-3-1 against spread in Chicago. Detroit's 1-4 against spread versus Chicago. Lions hope to have Galladay, Amendola, and Swift back week. That's huge. The record with Galladay is phenomenally, just remarkably better than when he's out of the lineup. That's huge for Stafford and their offense. The under is 6-2 when Detroit plays in Chicago. The under is 4-0 when the Bears are home faves. Chicago is 0-4 against spread as a favorite, 1-12 against spread in Week 13, their last 13 Week 13 games. I like Chicago to win this game. I think it's going to be a push. I think the Bears win this by 2 or 3. You might want to slide in on Detroit on the point spread in that one. Next up, Indy, 3-point favorites on the road to face Houston. Indy, last 5 Colts games versus AFC have gone over the number. Indy is 6-0-1 against spread following a double-digit home loss. The over is 8-1 in the Colts' last 9 road games versus a team with a losing home record. Indy is 7-0-1 against spread in Houston and 4-0 against spread versus Houston their last 4 meetings. In Houston have gone under the total. The road team's 9-2-2 against spread the last 13 versus. Total's gone under in 6 of the last 8 meetings. 5 of the last 6 home games for Houston have gone under the number. Texans are 1-5 against spread versus teams with winning records. Fuller suspended. Houston averages a league high 12.8 yards per completion. Without Fuller, I don't see this number carrying forward. Vikings are second with 8.1. Shows you the huge difference in the stat there. I think without Fuller, I think Houston's done. I think Indy walks away with this game, wins it by at least a touchdown. Jacksonville, the Jags, 10-point underdogs on the road in Minnesota. Opposing teams are 24-17-2 against spread versus Jacksonville since 2018. The Jags are 0-4 against spread versus teams with losing records. The Jags allow 30 points a game on average through their 10-game losing streak so far and have the league's 31st ranked run defense. Dalvin Cook this week, not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. The road team is 4-1 against spread versus. Jags have allowed 1,515 fucking yards after the catch this year. The Vikings, they are 34-19-1 against spread at home under Zimmer and 38-23-1 against spread as a fave. Mini is 19-7-1 against spread as non-divisional home faves. The over is hit in the Vikings' last 7 games at home. Jacksonville is being outscored by an average of 9 points a game. The spread sits at 10. I'll take Minnesota to win, the Jags to cover that 10-point spread just. Las Vegas on the road to face the Jets. Raiders, 7.5-point road favorites. They are 5-0 against spread versus the AFC. The Raiders are 1-4 against spread in New York. 34-3 loss last year in New York when they played the Jets. That's a little scary, especially after that turnover-happy game where they have, I wrote down here, 5 turnovers in that blowout loss to Atlanta last week, 43-6. The total's gone over the number in 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two. The home team's 5-1 against spread versus. The under is 3-1-1 the last 5 meetings in New York. The under is 6-2 when New York are dogs. The Jets are 2-7 against spread when 7.5-point underdogs. The under is 5-0 when the Jets play teams with winning records. The Jets have a league high 104 missed tackles and have lost every game by an average of 15.5 points so far this year. I definitely am taking the Raiders to win the game, and I will take the Jets to cover that spread. If that drops to 7 or less, I'll be flipping that and I'll be on the Raiders. New Orleans on the road to face Atlanta. 3-point favorites are the Saints. Last 4 Saints games have gone under the total. New Orleans is 4-0 against spread their last 4 and are 7-0 against spread and straight up without Breeze as their starting quarterback. Saints have won 8 straight, including a 24-9 win over Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Saints D, they've only allowed 28 points over the last 4 games total. The under is hit in 8 of the last 11 meetings in Atlanta between these two. The favorite is 5-2 against the spread. Atlanta is 1-5 against spread versus New Orleans in the last 6. Saints are 4-1 against spread in Atlanta. Julio, that hammy problem, how big an issue is that going to be? I think no Julio, or even if he can't play the whole game, I think New Orleans walks in and wins this game, covers that small 3-point spread, despite the fact they fumbled a league high 21 times this year. LA Rams are in Arizona to face the Cards. Kyler Murray's been kind of iffy with that rib injury. I've seen him go as questionable to healthy to questionable to healthy a couple times this week. The Rams, they're 9-1 against spread following and against the spread loss. The total's gone under the number in 7 of the last 8 Rams games and 7 of the last 8 when the Rams were favored on the road. The under 6-1 when LA plays the NFC. The fav is 6-0-1 against spread their last 7 meetings. Rams are 5-0 against spread in Arizona. 5-0-1 against spread their last 6 matchups are the Rams. The road team is 8-2-1 against spread the last 11 versus. The under is 6-1 when Arizona plays the NFC. Arizona's 5-1-1 against spread as an underdog. The under is 11-5 the last 16 matchups in Arizona. The Cards' second-ranked offense versus the Rams' 4th-ranked defense. You got Donald, you got Floyd, you got Ramsey on the Rams D. Oh no, something tells me, my gut keeps telling me Arizona, and all the stats are telling me the Rams. This one's been a real toss-up for me. I think this is a field goal game. I think it comes down to the end. I'll just roll with the home team in this one, in this matchup. New York Giants on the road to face the Seattle Seahawks. Giants 10.5-point road dogs. New York is 6-0 against spread as an underdog. 4-0 against spread versus the NFC. The Giants are 0-4 against spread versus Seattle, though. The fave is 6-1 against spread in this head-to-head matchup. The road team's 4-1 against spread the last 5 meetings. The last 7 games between them have gone over the number. Seattle 16-2 against the spread in week 13. There's no way Seattle loses the game. Do they cover the 10.5 points? I'm going to say no. I like the Giants to hang around by within 10 in this game. I don't think it'll be far off that number, though, in the end. New England on the road to face the Chargers. The Patriots, 1.5-point road dogs. They are 0-6-1 against spread after and against the spread win. Pats are 0-4 against the spread as a fave. New England's 0-4 against spread versus teams with losing records. The Pats are 5-0 against spread versus the Chargers. Newton, that game last week, like how the fuck did the Patriots get that fucking win? Under 70 yards passing, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. That just doesn't add up in a fucking football game to me. But they did the job. They got the win. Belichick, the defense, the run game, that's all they really needed in that one, I guess. The fave is 4-0 against spread the last 4 meetings. The total's gone under the last 5 meetings. In LA, the under is 5-2 the last 7 meetings. LA 0-5 against spread the last 5 games. LA has given up 120 plus rushing yards 5 times this year already. I think New England's going to get the road win in this one and cover the spread. Obviously, they're dogs. Philadelphia on the road in Green Bay. The fucking Eagles have been such a disgrace this year. So many different lineups starting on the O-line. I don't think that's an excuse at all. I think it's been poor preparation, bad fucking coaching, poor quarterback play, poor quarterback execution. Wentz has been sacked, 45 times, leads the league. He's pressured more than anyone. He's got 15 interceptions to 16 TDs. He's fumbled the ball how many times this year? I've got it written down here because I want to fucking hate on this bitch for how he's played so far. 10 fumbles already on the year. That's just Wentz alone. Forget the rest of the Eagles. Just fucking Carson Wentz himself. Last 5 Eagles games have gone over, and the last 5 versus NFC teams have gone over the number when Philly plays as well. Eagles average 6.5 whole points game less than the Packers. Philly's 4-7 against spread this year. Eagles are 1-4 against spread and straight up on the road this year. That only win that fluke win in San Francisco when I don't think San Fran was taking them seriously with how the Eagles have played. Green Bay ranks 29th in pressure rate, 18.7, and hurry 7.1%. That could be a bit of a relief for the Eagles getting Ertz back. I don't think they're competitive in this game at all. A lot of the games between these two have gone under 5 of the last 7. That might be a play you want to make. I'd definitely be all over the Packers this week. I don't think Philly stays close. I think Green Bay wins just slightly over the number. I think Green Bay wins by 10 to 13 points in this one, and therefore the Eagles don't win or cover again. Denver on the road in Kansas City. Denver 13.5 point underdogs. The Broncos, they're 7-1 against spread following in against the spread loss. 7-0 against spread after scoring less than 15 points in their previous game, obviously last week with 4 quarterbacks out for COVID and shit, 4 quarterbacks getting fined for not wearing masks properly in the dressing room. Just a load of shit all around for the Cardinals. Will that help them or hurt them this week? That's what I can't, or for the Broncos, sorry. I can't figure out which way to go on that one. Where was I here? Sorry, I'm not in my normal spot, as you guys can see at the in-laws. I'm a little out of place and don't have all my notes and everything in front of me like normal. I just got a pad of paper here. Casey, the road teams are 5-1 against spread in this head-to-head matchup. The Fave is 4-1 against spread the last 5 meetings. The Broncos turned the ball over on 19.5% of their fucking drives. That is dead last in the NFL and completely unacceptable. The under is 6-1 in the Chiefs' last 7 games. KC's 5-0-1 against spread in December and 4-0-1 against spread versus teams with losing records. I think Kansas City wins this by, again, similar to Green Bay, 10 to 13 points. I will take the Broncos on the spread, but Kansas City definitely on the win. Washington football team, 8.5 point road underdogs in Pittsburgh to play the undefeated Steelers. That was such an ugly game last week against the Ravens, who had nobody in their lineup. I can't believe how awful that was, but I just love Mike Tomlinson. I think he's going to have the Steelers right for this game. I don't think they're going to be treating Washington lightly like some people might think. I think that game, even though they snuck it out and won last week, I think that was enough of a wake-up call for a perfect team and an organization run as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers have been for as long as I can remember. I think this is a big bounce-back week. I'll tell you flat out, I like Pittsburgh to win and cover the spread, but I'll read you some stats anyways. The football team is 1-4 against spread versus Pitt. Washington allows the second worst sack rate, while the Steelers' D is ranked first in pressure rate at 34.3%, first in sacks with 38, and hurry rate at 14.5%. The under is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings, and Pittsburgh and Miami, they both own the best against spread record so far this year in the NFL. They both sit at 8-3 heading into this weekend. 58% of Washington's yards on offense, they come after the catch. That's an unbelievable number. By far, far and away, number 1 in the NFL. Terry McLaurin leads all wideouts with 445 yards after the couch. Watch out, James Conner and Pouncey, the Steelers center. Watch out for them on the injury list. I haven't double-checked it. I meant to yesterday. Today, obviously, I'm going live, so you know what time it is and everything. But check out that. It still won't affect much, but you just might want to take Washington if that number stays at 8.5 or higher on the spread. Definitely take Pittsburgh to win regardless. Buffalo Bills in San Francisco. 49ers, they're 1-point home favorites. The over is 7-0 in the Bills' last 8 games following a straight-up win. Buffalo's 0-3-1 against spread on Monday Night Football. The over is 8-3 in the Bills games this year. The fave is 4-1 against spread the last 5 meetings. The Niners are 13-3 against spread on Monday Night Football. San Fran is 1-4 against spread their last 5 at home, and they're playing home games in Arizona due to COVID for the next couple of weeks. Buffalo's Stephon Diggs, he ranks 3rd in targets, but without Brown in the lineup, can the Niners now focus on Diggs and take him away from the game and make it up to Josh Allen to beat him with his arm and his legs and to other targets? Because the Bills' running game hasn't been that impressive with Singletary and the rest of the back so far this year. I like Buffalo, despite that, to go in and win this one on the road. Dallas Cowboys, wow, continue with more bad teams in the NFC East. Complete embarrassment for most of them. At least Washington seems to be going out there and trying. The Giants, too, to a degree. But Dallas and Philly, man, come on. Come on. Cowboys 1-7 against spread following an against spread loss. The boys are 1-6 against spread their last 7 road games. Dallas has the 4th worst red zone rate in the league at 50%. And they've only found the end zone 3 times in their last 12 attempts. It just, since week 7, like, come on, Dallas. You got to score points. Look at how many players you have on offense still. Like Zeke, like somebody get in the red zone and score some fucking touchdowns for Dallas. Stop with all the field goals and missed opportunities. Dallas is 2-7 against spread this year. Worst mark against the spread in the NFL. Baltimore, this year get right week, even though you're 2-5 against spread in your last 7 games. Hopefully Lamar did get cleared on the COVID list earlier today or from COVID, and meaning he can play. I like the Ravens to roll in this game and win this one by 8 to 11 points. Maybe 12, 13, something like that. Baltimore wins and covers. Thanks for bearing with me in my unfamiliar settings and everything, guys. Peace.